Hey everyone, it's Ryan1940 here. Today we're taking a look at Sea-Powered Naval Combat and Missile Age, and this is a tutorial video. I haven't made one in a while, but I posted on my YouTube channel just a regular post of Task Group 77.3, which is what we're going to use to go through the Pacific Strike series. And a lot of you guys were kind of critical of the choices of ship I made. In fact, I picked two Knox-class frigates, and then I chose a Sprue Can, and then I had a Coontz-class destroyer. And I think it's kind of perplexing to people. Why would I want to use multiple towed array ships? But we can use them for surface warfare, and I'm going to show you in this video as a tutorial that you can use these light vessels to actually cause heavy losses on the enemy, because now in the game, because of the 4th of July update, surface ships with towed arrays can actually pick up other surface ships, and so this is a great opportunity to use that in surface warfare. Now we got SAG Bravo here, and SAG Bravo is comprised of two Coontz-class DDGs, and we got two Knox-class frigates. So we've got one which is the late one, and then the other is the late version. You see they got the towed array there, and then we've got the early version. They have the VDS, but apparently I think it's got, for its reference, towed array attached to it. You can't physically see it in the game world, but it's there. So out there somewhere beyond our waypoint is a Kirov-class cruiser. It's like 100 nautical miles away. So we're going to deploy our towed array, and we're going to try to see if we can localize that guy while staying at MCON, because those shipwreck missiles would absolutely wreck this little formation in these light ships, right? So let's go ahead and deploy some of that stuff. So when you have the VDS version of the Knox-class frigate, you just do towed sonar and you can deploy it. Now the key here is we want to look at the surface layer, right? So we want to go above the layer, because that's in the surface layer on the top, on the very surface of the water, is where the warship's at. So all that sound is probably going to go through the surface layer pretty well. So we want to listen in there. We want to make sure that that's good to go there. Oh, this is the late class. Sorry, this is the early one. This one's the VDS one. You can deploy it the same way. Go above layer. Just turn off the active, and when it's deployed, it's going to. It's as if the towed array was already on there. So we'll be getting passive towed sonar contacts, hopefully. All right, and the other thing is that we got two towed array ships out here. These other guys are just the destroyers with nothing. They will be our shooters, so they're going to have the 8 Harpoons on them, and then our frigates can also fire 2 at a time. 2 of the cells here are filled with Harpoons, and then they can reload 2, I think, after like 15 or 20 minutes, something like that. So we can chuck like a full salvo of, what is that, 18 Harpoons with this really light weight formation here. Okay, so we've got 16 with the 2 destroyers, and then in a salvo 4, because they can only fire 2 each. So that's 20 Harpoons right there. Right? So 4 and then 16 together. Now, the thing is, we got to find this Kirov. So let's take a look here. I want to make my formation just go slower so that they can have a better chance of picking up the contact. And then we'll just do time compression to see where we are when we pick up the Kirov. Now, the sonar update that happened also with that July 4th update, not only can you pick up contacts with all of your sonar sensors, you can pick up all kinds of contacts. The thing that also changed was now there's sort of TMA that has to happen before you get the range to a contact. So TMA will require that your little virtual sailors have to figure out, based on like doing different legs, if something is going a certain way, because they're not gonna. There we go. So we've made a course change, and you can see there's this oval of uncertainty. I want to put a marker down where we kind of got him at first. And what was his speed? So he's going like 20 knots. We're at MCON, right? Because we just don't want to get swatted by that Kirov, and we're just going to keep going back and forth very slowly there. So now we're getting indications that he's somewhere around 100 nautical miles, kind of bouncing around. Okay. So this is kind of like this is like the line of sound that our towed array operators are getting. So if I click on him, I'm sure that both of the Knox-class, oops, I always hit the unit reference when I mean to hit information. Oh, the Badger is the one that's actually picking them up. So the late Knox-class right here, Badger, is picking her up. We can try to switch it around and let's move the formation going this way now. Do some course changes. Alright, now you can see that position is getting like really a smaller window after we've done some course changes. Now they're 53 miles away, so they are in harpoon range. And the way our geometry is, I can't imagine this being very, very long. So it's a 20-mile swath here where we're not sure where the Kirov's at. But that doesn't really matter because the way our ships are positioned, if we just fire down this line, the Harpoons will eventually pick it up and will hit the biggest target, and it's just going to be Kirov. So we're going to see if our salvo from our little lightweight group here can actually hit the Kirov and maybe sink the Kirov. So let's pause it because we're going to want to concentrate our fire on the Kirov. So that was from Mahan. Who was that? Oh, sorry, that was the... yeah, let's go with this guy. Salvo 8 as well. And then we'll just do the Badger. We'll just say salvo 4. So what's going to happen is they'll fire 2, they'll reload, and then when the other 2 are ready, they will fire additional harpoons. Kind of as... So there'll be another subsequent salvo of 4 harpoons. Alright, here we go. Now remember, Kirov doesn't know where we're at, right? And they're not going to detect these missiles until they're relatively close to the Kirov. So we're kind of safe right now because I'm guessing, yeah, Kirov is also at MCON. So that's saving us as well. I put Kirov specifically at MCON not to kind of cheat so that it couldn't shoot down the missiles, but more to show you I didn't want to be able to find the Kirov aside from just using sonar. So that's why I put her at MCON. Obviously, if this was a real combat like mission, this would have escorts and it would be more difficult. But this is just kind of a demonstration, a short one, to show you that using your towed array, right? This is the only thing that's being detected right now. This is sonar. In fact, let's see who else has got. Basically, all the ships are detecting the Kirov now with sonar. So having towed array ships is great for surface warfare. It allows you to classify contacts, score some hits on Kirov. Another hit. Another hit. Oh, oh, I think it's over. Is that track dead? That track is dead. There we go. So there we go. So SAG Bravo just sunk the mighty Kirov. Granted, we did help it by having the vessel be at MCON, but this was more just as a way to teach you these little light frigates. And if you're thinking about the task force mode, do not ignore the Knox-class frigates. Okay, they are. Well, I think the early one is this guy. Early one here is like what, 8 points, and then the late one is 9 points. This guy right here, and they're so versatile. You can get helicopters with them. If you're playing in the medium difficulty, it comes with a Sea Sprite. And that towed array there not only is used for sonar contacts against submarines, you can now use them against surface ships. And if you buy a couple of them, now you've got 2 towed array vessels, and you can maneuver around doing different things. You can, Knox-class frigates are also perfect for breaking them away from the formation to go finish off a contact with their 5-inch guns. Even the Garcia-class. The Garcia-class is not as capable. Doesn't have what do they have? They've got, I believe they've got 2 5-inch guns, and I like them for that. So they're about like 6 or 7 points, I think, in the campaign. But the 2 5-inch guns are great if you need a cheap asset to go chase down something to finish them off. Imagine if we did hit the Kirov, and it was obvious they couldn't fight anymore. Do I want to keep pumping harpoons into it, or do I want to just break off a cheapo frigate and then go over there and just kill them with guns and finish them off that way? there's a ton of scenarios that these Knox-class frigates are useful, but I think it's really clear now that we've seen these towed array ones are absolutely perfect for surface warfare, and we can stay at MCON, we can keep our light forces protected that way, and finish them off, especially when they're coupled with people that can shoot the better Harpoons, the Charlies or the Deltas. So if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Get to them as soon as possible. See you next one. Bye.